Well, hey all, and welcome back. And today I have a very, very special retro review for you all because I have new in box Micro Machine toy from the 80s. This thing is a time capsule just sitting here waiting to be opened. I had been looking for this set for a while because I had some new Transformers coming in that were sort of in this scale, and I wanted to find a set that I thought might be a good fitting for them, that might be able to be used with some of the base modes and whatnot. But when I was growing up, I was huge into Micro Machines. I had the entire first series, I had a lot of the later ones. Unfortunately, I don't have most of them anymore, but this is something that was really near and dear to me. And so I've gone through the trouble to pick up a handful that I had from my childhood. But I know somewhere, sitting in a storage building in the middle of nowhere, I still probably have most of the ones that survived sitting somewhere in a box. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the packaging because I want to kind of take my time with this because this thing has sat taped in the box for a very long time, like at least 30 years. I'll look at the date on it, but I know it's a pretty old set. But the box is in decent shape. We still have the price tag on here. It looks like there probably was some sort of clearance sticker or something here that got tore off at some point. So there's a little bit of marring on the box and a little bit of probably moisture damage at the top, but for the most part, it's not bad. But it shows you here, these sets used to be self-contained, so you could put all its components inside of it and put it in your pocket and carry with you to play. That was one of the reasons I loved it because we did a lot of traveling as a kid. But it comes with one Micro Machine, it's got some pylons or whatever these are, 3 turrets, and then a radar, and a little gate. I had been looking at these on eBay used. However, this one was like $2 more to buy it new in box than to buy ones that were used that had war stickers or missing the Micro Machine or things along those lines. On the back, you can see different sets here. I always wanted these, but I never got to have any of these as a kid. I've recently picked up a handful of the larger sets for my kids to play with, but I had, let's see if I look down here, the ones I can remember. Pretty sure I had this one, the car wash, this one, the fish and chips, the one we have here, the dirt one. I think I had both the dirt ones. The one's a garbage dump and the other one's sort of like a digging site. I don't think I had the sort of airport. That would have been a cool one to have. And I don't know if I had these, but I had a few other sets that weren't in this line too. But this is just so cool. And you can see the old style tape on here. And I really need to decide how I'm going to cut this. If I'm just going to cut the tape so I don't tear the box, or how I'm going to go about it. And then here's the bottom, Travel City. There we go, 1986 and 88. So I'm going to assume 88, the later date, is point of manufacture. So at time of filming, this thing is like over 30 years old, just sitting here. And here we are. We're going to go open it up and see what's inside. So I think the best approach is probably to cut it. And so I have a nice sharp X-Acto blade here. Which side, it really doesn't matter. They both look like they're in good shape. So let's go ahead and get into this. Here we go. 30 years of unmoved tape just being cut. And maybe I'm being a little bit more emotional about this than many would. They just tear it open. But I don't know. I feel like this is sort of like a time capsule, this grand reopening. Now I'm going to let you all in a little secret. I probably should do a tip video for collectors at some point. But I have this letter opener here. I've had it for a long time. And what I use, because I keep a lot of my boxes, especially ones I care about, I try to keep from doing damage on these parts where these tabs come in. And a trick I've come up with is where you take a package, you slide this in, and you find that tab, and you push up so that it slides out, as you can see here. Because otherwise, if you just pull on it, you tend to get tears along here or marring or whatever. And this is just one way of opening your boxes and keeping them nice, because you're just trying to move that tab above the other part. So there we go. All right, so I don't remember how these were packed. It looks like there's other packing material in here. So we have some cardboard. Oh, wow, stickers as well. So there's another piece of cardboard in there, so that's not really important. It's just like this one. And set of stickers. Wow, completely unused. Instructions. It talks about assembly and where the stickers go. And then set itself. And this was what was cool about it, is that they were self-contained. And you can see these little slots here where so you can combine them all and have a full city. So pop it open, and we have the turrets, the antenna, the vehicle, which is interesting that it's a different vehicle than what's on the package. I don't know if they randomly selected different military ones to fit in there or not. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So the turret itself actually collapsed, as you can see here, and it telescopes out, and we have the moving turret and these. And that was another reason I was really happy to get the new one. As you would see, the turrets would be kind of missing parts of them, or they'd be beat up, or the stickers would be all ripped up. So we have the 3 turrets. And this is hitting me in the nostalgia. And we have the 2 barricades. The Micro Machine. Let's see if we can get a closer look at it. I've had this one, or at least I've had a color of this one. I think it was based on the construction vehicle mode, and you actually see the canopy's a little loose. So there was actually version of this where they would change out the back and you have like a mixer truck or dump truck or whatever. So it was a common chassis, but I know I had this military version at some point, but the paint scheme doesn't seem all that familiar. But we're talking, over 30 years ago that I had this stuff. Another item I didn't mention is these ramps, because the ramps would go on there so you could drive up them. So I have 2 ramps. The radar dish, which goes on here, and a little wheel you can spin, and it spins the dish, and it also moves the arm up. So I'm going to be pretty meticulous about putting the stickers on, so I'm going to go ahead and do it off camera, and we'll see how this thing looks all put together. And here we have it stickered up. And grown-up me is much more meticulous than the 8-year-old me that would have had this. I've gone as far as taking the ruler and trying to line things up as perfectly as possible. There's one slight issue, and it may have been an issue when I was a kid as well, is that this sticker, per the instructions, these are the arrangement, has a little bit of overlap on this hole. Now, this hole is not used in this set, so it's not that big of a deal, but if you want to change things out and make it like the light post or signs or whatever that come with other sets fit this, you'll have to change the sticker. So whether that be trimming it or just forcing the object down to where it mars the sticker, I'm going to leave it as is because this is intended, unless I decide to mess with it more. It's not like I'm going to sell this. I'm going to probably keep it, let my kids maybe even mess around with it. But printing's fine on it. You can actually see a little bit of alignment issue on some of the printing. They didn't use a 1-color black. They used a 4-color black. So there are some registration issues here. It's all minor, and it's all probably correct for the period. I think it looks fine as is. But now let's put it together. And there we have the full thing assembled. And wow, this is just so cool. I've loved these. I thought these were great when I was a kid. This set is so nice and pristine. I'm so happy to have this. This is totally exciting. This is probably gonna end up in my top toy of the year list of things I get. I do a top 10 every year just because it's so much feel, so much nostalgia floating around in this. So we have all the turrets. They have rotation. They can go up and down. The antenna, like I said, when you turn it, turns the radar dish as well as lifts the gate. So that's a neat little gimmick. But yeah, this is cool. One thing to note, and this is probably a little bit of the OCD in me. So all the stickers and the instructions want them to be facing one direction. So we have 1, 2, 3. But if you'll notice, there's actually a shape here that's different on the molding than there is on this side. I kind of would like to keep the same, but I decided to go ahead and do it the way the instructions state. So just an afternote on the sticker after I put everything away. What actually happened when I collapsed this, it messed up the sticker and kind of bent it up. And if you look on here, you can actually see that there is less clearance on this. So even though it's supposed to go here, it's better suited for these sides because there's actually a little bit more clearance. And you can see the stickers kind of coming up towards the bottom, and I'm gonna have to add some glue or something as I've moved it. But if you pull off this end of the turret, you actually can pop it down and slide it and rotate things to where they'll still be lined up to where they're supposed to, and you can utilize it that way. It should have been that way from the beginning, and I actually am now having memories of this sticker getting messed up as a kid because there is no room to collapse it. So anyway, if you do manage to find a new one of these, something to look out for. On to the rest of the review. But we have our Micro Machine on here, and everything rolls and fits just fine. It's all tiny, and it's all great. And if you had more sets, you could stack them all and combine them. But what I want to show you, because I collect a lot of Transformers, and as a kid, I always wanted a Micro Machine Transformer, is how the world's smallest kind of scales into here as well. Because one reason I bought this is for an upcoming review I have, and I won't spill the beans just yet, but there is something really cool that's already been shipped to me, and once it gets here, we'll mess with that. But we'll go ahead and transform Prime, and you can see that he is larger than a Micro Machine. However, if you take away the Micro Machine, he fits on here just fine, especially if you're looking just to display it. And I think this would be something kind of cool to interact with these sort of base modes for the mini-cons. And that's actually why I got this, is to sort of see how they might fit together, maybe do a little bit of 3D printing or whatever. Just something fun. Something that actually makes me want to play with my toys again rather than just displaying them on the shelf. So I guess really the last thing to show you guys, other than just how cool this is, and you kind of saw it after as we opened it, because that's how it comes in the package, is how this stores. And so everything would just pop off, and you'd flip it. You put your dish in here. The turrets collapse. And you just sort of Tetris things in there in a way that best fits. And hopefully I can make it all work while doing it on camera. So yeah, I just sort of fit everything in here on both sides. Pylons, and you could throw your Micro Machine in there as well. Though I have a feeling it's gonna be a little tricky. And just close up and snap it. And so I'd even have to perfect fitting in there. There's enough room to where it fits, and you throw it in your pocket and you go. I mean, we need more stuff like this even for kids today with Transformers and G.I. Joe and Star Wars and everything else. These really neat micro pocket toys. Bring Polly Pocket back. All these things. Because the way things are going, oh, forgot to put that in there. But anyway, it would fit. The way things are going, people are starting to do road trips again and get out, and this would be a great toy to carry around. So anyway, if you have as fond of memories of Micro Machines as I do, or if you like this sort of thing, leave a comment below. And like always, like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.